rated the two. Well, these are the two teams. I'm joined by Darlington Matavanadzo, who will walk us through the teams.
Ashley Mfandawe is the captain. Kromen Zinyama. Lennox Chando is second on the top run scorers list. Masimba Maroatanga same. Milton Shumba, Munashe Zata, Chingoruma, Panashe Tarawinga, really exciting talent for the future. Faze Mkabeta with his team. Tanatswa Chisho and Tapiwa Mushope. And then for Westside, it's Masekesa is the captain tonight. Clive Chumba will probably be at the top of the order. Definite Mawadzi, Frank Mwajita, John Masara, leg spin. Zimbabwe International, Kevin Kasuza, another Zimbabwe International, Nigel Bonyongwe, Prosper Mugeri, Tariro Makauyo, Tandai Chetara, and Chiwara makes up the 11.
All right, so these teams, like I did say, that they finished third and fourth. Gladiators finishing third. Westside, number 4. Gladiators did beat Westside in the first game of the NPL T20 Blast by 43 runs. I'm sure they'll be hoping for a same or similar result. Let's get ready for the first ball.
Spin to start. And it's Ashley Mfandawe, the captain, taking responsibility for the first over. Nigel Bonyongwe on strike, and Chiwara is at the non-striker's end. Beautiful evening here at Harare Sports Club. Had been a little bit chilly last week. Temperatures dropped quite severely, but today, not the case today. Really, really wonderful temperatures, weather out here at Harare Sports Club. And this is that wide of mid-off. Going to be the first boundary of the evening.
Well, the key to the shot was the time. He didn't try to hit it too hard, but just simply placed it well. Milton Shumba was just chasing that one to retrieve the ball from the boundary. The first one of the evening.
Really classy looking shot. Just a push. Really looked to hit that hard. Got it into the gap, and just a sign of how good and quick the outfield is here tonight.
Now, gets a single. Good strike rotation. Now, the outfit was magnificent in the first game of the day. Each had a great run chase of 183 by Soga Rangers. So, you think that it will pretty much remain the same in terms of its quickness?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just going to be, again, a score around that 185. Probably going to be what you need if you're going to get yourself into a position to win this match. But we did see earlier that you still got to get your bowling right.
Oh, that you do. You have to get your lines and length correct. Quick single taken. What's always key in the T20 format is the utilization of the power play. First over done. 7 for no loss for Westside Cricket Club.
Ashley Mfandawe is the captain, but men to look out for when Gladiators chase this run, whatever Westside make tonight. Milton Shumba. Panashe Tarawinga just came out of the under-19s. Had a wonderful innings of 100 of just 54 deliveries. And that's Lennox Chando.
And then for Westside, need to look out for Clive Chumba, who sits at number 5 in the runs leaderboard there. He's got 248 runs to his name in the competition so far. And so he's definitely done well for himself and is a crucial member of that squad.
So Faze Mkabeta, this is the first time we're going to see Seam tonight. He's going to be bowling from the city end. Not really express pace, but has bowled quickish at periods throughout his career, his young career, 71 matches. And there we see some good bounce and carry for him immediately.
Well, you did mention Darlington. that pace, if you're just looking to hit the deck as hard as possible, you might be able to get something off the surface. Just a little bit of extra bounce there, beating Chihora.
This is good to see. He was quite critical of FaZe Mkabeta a couple of years back when I saw him at this competition playing for Gladiators. I thought he used to kind of put the ball, didn't really run in and bowl it. It's good to see that he's worked on that. That he's actually really bowling with some energy here.
You can hear the effort ball and his urge. He's got a crucial role to play here in FaZe Mkabeta, because how he sets the stage for the rest of the game will be very, very important. Because I'll tell you what, Westside will be looking to utilize the powerplay restrictions.
Something we saw earlier when Sean Williams, who led the run chase in the match between Sogo Rangers and Takashinga Patriots, won. What he went and did is he essentially seized the game away from the Rangers. The Patriots were on top at that time when he came in. And I think that's essentially what FaZe Mkabeta's got to try and mimic here as a bowler. He's got to come and set the tone for the rest of the innings, because if you can get the Westside Cricket Club batters on their back foot, get an early wicket here and a breakthrough, probably set up a second wicket, will be the ideal start.
Now let's smash through the covers. And I tell you what, once you hit the inside circle, it'll run away for 4. That'll be 4 runs to Westside.
Chihora didn't really get hold of that one. Didn't have that really crisp, clean sound off the bat. Sounded like it came off the toe on the end of the bat. But such a quick outfield that it's run away to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, there was width on offer from FaZe Mkabeta on that occasion. And the batter duly obliged and dispatching it to the boundary for 4.
Well, that's found the outside edge, but there's no slips in place. And Westside Cricket get their second boundary in this over.
Now, fortuitous runs. There was no control in that shot. Lashing out at it. And found an outside edge with no slip in place. And it ran away for 4 runs.
But again, there's some good signs for FaZe Mkabeta out there. And there's some firepower in the Westside Cricket Club. A couple of seam bowlers there. There's the perennial evergreen Tendai Chatara. And then there's also Prosper Bugeri, who by instinct, by nature almost, wants to bang it in into the wicket just short of a good length. I think so. Conditions tonight, I think, are going to suit those sort of bowlers. Tendai Chatara, Jerry bowls a little bit fuller than does Mugeri and Mkabeta. So be interesting to see how the seamers get along tonight.
An important role that the seamers will have to play. I'm also keen to see how the spinners will do as well under the lights.
That is being swung towards the cow corner boundary. Back of a length, but no real pace or intent in that last delivery. 22 for none.
Well, it was short. Didn't come from the middle of the bat. You can see the bat twisted in his arms there, but it had enough power to send it over to the boundary. After 2 overs, 22 for no loss for Westside Cricket. Just looking at Westside Cricket, I didn't mention Clive Chumba as well as Tendai Chatara that Darlington just spoke about. They'll be crucial members in this game. Cut and cut away for 4. That's a magnificent shot.
Just a little bit of width from Mfandawea. Just doesn't look like the sort of wicket that you're going to get any purchase on. Looks like it's tending to skid on with the arm rather than find some purchase and turn. He's got to make sure he's getting that right over the top of the off stump.
Pushing for the second one. But he will get back quickly enough. The call wasn't loud enough from Chiora. Nigel Bonyongo just turning blindly, you would say. Good use of the gaps that they find, just stopping it short and taking off at a blistering pace. This is the key thing about T20 cricket. If you're able to convert the good deliveries into singles, gets you into a good position. 6 runs off the first 3 deliveries of this over already. It's a good start.
Smashes it away to the point boundary. None.
So, lovely evening out here at Harare Sports Club for our Eliminator tonight. Westside Cricket Club have set about their batting inning against Gladiators. 51 without loss after 5. Dirk, thoughts on that start?
Well, it's a very, very good start, isn't it, by Westside. They've capitalized on some rather ordinary bowling and gone about their business. What they've done is they've really maximized the power play up to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mukabeta back in to bowl his second, conceding 15 on his first. However, looking at the batters, Nigel Bunyongwe, 26, and I'm sure they'll be looking to add more to that. However, this young man, Faze Mukabeta, into bowl his second. Beg your pardon, I don't know why you didn't correct me, as we see that boundary again from Chiora, just through the covers. Well driven, beautiful cricket shot.
It's a very
Dean?
orthodox stroke, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing better than that, you know, seeing a ball flow through those covers. As see a few gentlemen there enjoying their Thursday night, almost wrapped up the week, and pulled. Doesn't get past the man. They're able to come back for a second, so this pair doing so well. Chiora and Bunyongwe running between the wickets rather very well as well.
Oh, that's magnificent. It's so important to capitalize on anything that is loose, but then equally the strike rotation is so important. So often there's a little too much emphasis put on heavy scoring in terms of boundary hitting, but it is so important to put pressure on the fielders and turn those ones into twos.
Absolutely, and I mean the current run rate just over 10. And driven straight down the ground, unable to get to it. That has got to be one of the greatest cricket shots ever. I mean, just so elegant.
Yeah, it is indeed, and it's one of the safest shots as well. You present the full face of the bat, you drive it down the ground, and invariably you're going to get full results or positive results for a shot like that. Beautifully done. So this already is another very expensive over. 10 from the over up to this point.
Absolutely.
But just run rate still continues to hover over 10 runs and over, which is exactly what Westside would have wanted.
Yeah, and Chiora moves his tally to 32 as well. 61 of that loss after 5.3. So going very, very well are the Westside Cricket Club. And they also are the only side to get a victory over the Sogo Rangers who have qualified for the final. What do you say that? Just a bit of a got recovered well enough, but they do manage 2 runs off of that. Looking at a third possibly. Throw hasn't been great. I've got to pull something together quickly here, this Gladiator side. Otherwise, it could run away from them.
I think what Gladiators need to hopefully be aware of from their perspective is that even if your openers do get off to a very good start, and if you're under the pump, you can find a way back. It's not a given that a total of 220 will be scored. You've often seen sides have an opening stand of 80 or 90 in virtually no time, and then suddenly 2 or 3 quick wickets brings it back. And actually we saw the Rangers do just that, didn't we, against Takashinga Patriot. It's actually a very good game of cricket. Now, can the Gladiators find a way back into this? And they need to keep believing that they can.
Unfortunately, the wide won't help, but that's something that the Rangers did. Dean, they managed to get wickets at regular intervals, and again, tell you what, Chiora in top form here, ladies and gentlemen, another 4, enjoying his time out and under the lights here at Harare Sports Club.
Well, maybe you and I better take microphones and go sit amongst the crowds. They're having a lovely time out there. There's not too many people in, but they're vocal, and they're having a wonderful night out on Thursday night. And if you're in the vicinity, it's not too late for you to get here.
Absolutely. Certainly help ourselves to a few of those. Those gentlemen are enjoying it. But I don't know, you could be enjoying the night more. I think this pair of Mujongwa and Chiora are doing just that. With a single delivery remaining in the over. Manages to clean up after his own bowling there. Mukabeta, after 2 overs he's bowled. Unfortunately, gave for 32 at the moment. However, Westside Cricket Club 68 without loss after the first 6 overs. So going along very nicely up under the lights at Harare Sports Club.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember that we had a lot of T20 cricket here when we had Durham County side here as well. And what we found was that as the games progressed and the games that were played under lights, for some reason the scoring was very, very low. And teams were able to defend very low totals. Remember in particular a game, the Mountaineers against the Tuskers, where the Mountaineers defended a total of just over 100. Well, I can tell you what, it's not going to be that way tonight.
Yeah, certainly won't. But yeah, I think, like you're saying, it's been quite a feast of T20 cricket. As we see the national team selector, David Mutindi up alongside Mr. Darlington Majonga. Nonetheless, Milton Shumba, national team cricketer, brought into 124. Do you see it going there?
For Gladiators,
just a single.
try and do something similar to what Sean Williams did for the Rangers. Try and hold the ball.
He dominated. I mean, we saw Skonkin and Williams do so well for that Sogo Ranger side earlier.
And Ryan Burl as well, with his figures of 3 for 17 and 4 overs.
Phenomenal work. Just trying to give himself some more space there, Nigel Munyonga. That lady gets a nice photo. Swept beautifully. They looked after and it. Deep square. So very comfortable to play around in the entire ground. It seems both Chiora and Munyonga, as those Westside club boys are really having a gas, and the change them supporting their mates out there. And punched through the covers.
I think what they're also doing very nicely is they realize that there are these big pockets, as we call them, in the grounds. In other words, big empty spaces. So the boundary, especially on the leg side, is a big old boundary. So if you do get the ball away into the leg side, invariably you'll pick up 2 runs. And if you are able to work it away behind square north side, there's 2 on the offer as well, because it's a big playing area.
So again, just looking at those, Manhattan really doing quite well. So going nice.
I guess the Gladiators, what the Gladiators will be wanting right now would be someone like Russell Crowe. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the movie Gladiator, he was a prime gladiator, so they would certainly be wanting someone to put in a performance like that.
Absolutely.
To somehow try and stem the flow of runs which keep leaking.
Do you head on over? We still are in the down the ground. To the onside. Just a single off it.
It's a lovely sound, isn't it? When the ball goes down the ground, it has a sound all of its own, even if it's just for the single, if it goes too long or for long on. It's just such a safe sound as opposed to, as well as a safe looking shot.
He's put that one into the air, however. Will there be a man there? Oh, it goes over him. Oh. Valiant effort, and he manages 6 runs. Nigel Bunyongwe. So taking on the bow layup. Line him up and driven. Unfortunately, the man was in business on the boundary there, on the rope. Just unfortunately had too much height on it. He moves his tally to 35.
If that catch had been taken, it probably would have been one of the catches of the whole tournament. Very, very good effort, but just enough height to clear the fielder.
We get to the end of the 8th over, 82 without loss. Chiora 42 and Bunyongwa 36, going so well.
Yeah, and that's a very good point that you make. They've complemented each other beautifully, haven't they? Yep. It's often when you see in these big opening stands, it's normally one batter that dominates the other, but they're actually matching each other. And what they've done very nicely is they've fed each other the strike as well. Not just one person who's hogged the strike and taken advantage. Both of them have done very well in strike rotation, as well as capitalizing on the loose bowling.
Yeah, absolutely complementing each other. As we see Milton Shumba driven there by Bunyongwa. As you say that, again, rotating that strike, hit the boundary and then try to get their mate on strike. Some of Gladiator lads who will be manning the drinks duties tonight. Also just having a chat, probably giving each other their own opinion of how things should progress. Well looked after there in the covers.
Yeah, when you're under the cosh like this as a fielding side, a drinks break is always a very good thing, isn't it? Because
yeah, absolutely.
You just try and
so unfortunately for the Gladiators, they're going to have to wait for their breakthrough, if it comes. Oh, quick little single there, so doing so well, just explosive in terms of their running between the wickets. You know, T20 cricket, that is gold dust. You know, it just keeps the opposition thinking, make a few changes in his field. There, Milton Shumba. And just giving himself some more room, cut into the covers, and they still managed to get a single.
Goodness me, this has been very good. Yep. This really has been a productive partnership. They had the fielders under pressure the whole time, because if they're not plundering boundaries, they are running so beautifully between the wickets. What they seem to be able to do is, even though they're hitting the ball pretty much at the fielders, especially out in the covers.
As we saw the Soga Rangers boys there enjoying a few drinks after their victory, but doing so well here. And tell you what, Westside looking so good at the moment, running 2 there, but yeah, those boys enjoying a well-deserved drink after their exploits earlier. As we get to the end of the 9th over, 87 without loss.
Well, once again, we speak of Westside and how well they've played. Even though they've hit the ball pretty much to the fielder, they've still been able to pick up, to scamper singles. And I wonder how much of a motivation it was when they recorded their win over the Soga Rangers a couple of days ago. Because it just seems to have galvanized them, hasn't it? You remember that they did record that win when the Rangers recorded their first loss of the series.
Absolutely, and tell you what, they look aside in good form, proving that at the moment. Ufundawea in to ball his final over. He's gone for 27 thus far. All first 3. However, Chiora, a non-striking man on Fundawea. Projected score has come down, so the Gladiators will smile at that, 180. Played down the ground, and they come back for 2 again. They're just so busy. But
this is, and the crowd appreciate it as well. The crowd are very alert as to what's happening here, and alert to the fact that they're turning these 1s into 2s. Normally down the ground you'd be looking at a single, but down the ground and then still being able to come back for the second is exceptionally good running.
They've just done so well to find the pockets in gaps all around the park here. From there, getting a top ball there, attempted cut shot, but obviously Foxy the bowl up down the ground, looking to come back for 2. Thought about it, but kudos to the Gladiators. Lads out in the field, restricting him to 1 there. It's been lots and lots of cricket in this NPL T20 blast. So there'll be some tired legs there in that dressing room. However, I tell you what, in the excitement of possibly getting yourself a chance to get to the final, this is an eliminator as well, I must point out. So whoever goes down in this encounter gets knocked out. Whoever progresses, or wins this game rather, will progress to the second eliminator, or a qualifier rather, pretty much a semi-final, and they will take on the Takashinga Patriots. Takashinga Patriots 1, who unfortunately went down to the Rangers earlier on, meaning the Rangers book a spot in the final. Just worked off his pads. Chewed up for his single. Oh, I think that is a wicket. I don't think he made it home, and Mr. Umpire has stuck his finger out. So for all of that brilliant running, unfortunately, Chiyoda has to depart on 45.
Well, it was very sharp work by the fielder. We're just trying to identify him there, Morty, but that was very, very quick, alert fielding. And I tell you what, the Gladiators will be breathing a huge sigh of relief. They've got the wicket that they so desperately needed.
Absolutely. Dean just can't pick him up, but a brilliant throw straight into the keeper's hands. And tell you what, he had the easiest job to do, just catch and move your hands to your right. And Chiyoda departs, but very brilliant little knock there. 45 off 33, set aside up. Lennox, Chando, or Panashita Ruinga combining to get that wicket and their first breakthrough. And as he makes his way up, stares into the change room, he's done his job. Halfway stage, the team find themselves 90 for the loss of 1. And the new man into bat, Clive Chumba.
Well, Clive Chumba was very, very instrumental in that, in orchestrating that successful run chase against the Soga Rangers a couple of days ago with his unbeaten 54. What you will normally find with Clive Chumba is that he's not a big booming player. It was similar to how Joylord Gumbi goes about his business, works the ball into gaps, runs hard. But before you know it, he has a strike rate of 130 plus.
And when helps you win an important fixture for your side. As Banyongwa moves his tally to 41. Milton Shumba. So we're going to take a break from the Comswalk. And we will hand over to Eli and TC.
Thank you, Mudi. Halfway through their innings is Westside Cricket Club 91 for the loss of 1. They've had a fantastic start to their innings. And they're looking around that 180 mark, but I tell you 200 is not far off shot. They have 9 wickets in hand, TC.
Good evening, Eli. Evening, everyone. Oh, what a start that was from Chiyoda and Bonyongwe. For a long time, whilst they were batting together, like you mentioned, 200 is not far, but they've given their team a solid foundation here.
Definitely a solid foundation. That's cut away. Now the further they get there, now we're home. That'll be 4 runs. And so Nigel Bonyongwe will continue the carnage, 46 of 30. He's going at a very good strike rate.
Well, the loss of his partner, he's just going to carry on Moves way outside his leg stump and places that beautifully. Too much work for the fielder in the deep to do. That's a fantastically placed shot.
Yeah, just to tell you more of that partnership of Tinashe Chihora and Nigel Bonongwe. 90 runs they've scored of 60 deliveries. And this time around, the sweeper will cut that to just 2. Just apart from that run out, the running has been good in between the wickets from Westside. They've been doing well. Their calls have been loud. They've been brisk, you would say. Now, umpire signals short run there. Keeping an eye on things. That's Christopher Peary, the umpire. Say, my friend, you did not get to the other side.
Oh, Eli, it looked like Gladiators gone 99 for 1.
That was a good piece of fielding. But you would say also it was just also an unfortunate call for a second. But before that, they've done well. Well, we were talking off air and like, how did Westside lose in their first game against Gladiators in this tournament? Because they lost by 43 runs. And you're looking at the way that they've gone about business. I tell you what, I'm sure that the coach had a few stern words for them. And whatever strategies they've had so far, batting-wise, they have come up well. New bowler, Tapiwa Mushope, comes into the attack from the city end.
He's bowling to Bonyongwe, who's just 2 runs shy of his half-century. Sure, he'll be looking to get that out the way as quickly as possible so he can bat through the innings here. Westside need him to do so.
Call for 2. Well, they come back running hard. Bit of a fumble in the field. Will allow them to come back easily and complete a magnificent half-century. 50 runs off 33 deliveries with a strike rate of above 150.
Yeah, brilliantly played half-century by Nigel Bonongwe. He was going along nicely with his partner who departed, but he's just carried on, getting 2 runs off the first ball to cross, or to get to that 50. And this is how he did it. Ran the first one extremely hard, came back for the second, and the misfield allowed them to come through comfortably.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good delivery. Good ball. Too good for the stumps as well. Nigel Bonyongwe's knock of 50 has seen 6 fours and 1 6. So has been striking it well. Looks determined to put his team in a very, very good position.
I guess he's, at this stage of the innings, they say he's seeing it like a soccer ball.
Thumb straight. Well, I'll tell you what, Clive Chumba was not in his crease. That one just passed Tapira to crash into the stumps. He would have had another run out.
That one, not how he would have wanted to bowl that one. And just to add salt to injury, it's a no ball and a free hit to Nigel Bonyongwe. He's going to face this, and no doubt he's going to free his arms here, Eli.
No, he's going to look to capitalize on this. It had been a good over until that delivery. And cracked away. And this one will sail over mid-ons there for 6. That's a huge hit. Nigel Bonyongwe continues the charge.
And they love it, don't they? They love it. Someone's got hands on heads. Like, that was a beauty of a shot. Well, a maximum. And this is how he did it. Just kept his eyes on the ball. Got a good chunk of it. And sails over the boundary.
No, neatly done. They are looking to push for second, but they'll settle for 1. No, this is the brutality of T20 cricket. When you just miss your length and you allow the batter to get underneath the ball, I tell you what, you stand a risk of going for plenty.
Clive Chumba, still early days in his innings. They crossed the 100 mark in the previous over, and it's 109 for 1 after 12.
Under the night skies, looking at the Manhattan of Westside. The second, 6th, and 12th over have been pretty big ones for them. And then I'm sure they've been dilly-dallying their run rate between 10 and 11. Currently at 9, courtesy of that Tipiam Shope over, which was just below 10 and over. But so far they look set, they look good. 200 does look like a very reachable total. Quick single taken. It's what's at stake, JC, is a ticket into the final. The winner of this game stands to play the loser of the first qualifier in tomorrow's second qualifier. So all to play for the two sides.
Absolutely. Punches it off the back foot straight to the fielder, so no run there. And I guess the Sogo Rangers will be sitting feet up. Not much pressure on them until the final.
It's shot. Pushing for two. Well, Sogo Rangers, they literally are. They have their feet up in the air. They're still here watching the game. They did their business earlier on. And they have some pictures of some of the fans out here enjoying, FaceTiming people to say, come out to Harare Sports Club.
Yeah, nice little crowd and making a lot of noise and enjoying the action. Just the two of this over so far. Shouts of catch it out there. Fielder, get under it, and he's gone. What an innings though. Nigel Bonyongwe has to depart for a magnificent 58. Milton Shumba strikes at a very crucial time. Nelson does it again, Eli.
Definitely does. Milton Shumba does well. Dismisses the destructive Bonyongwe. And was dug into the surface there. Didn't come off the middle of the bat. And a great catch in the end. Well, Nigel Bonyongwe has done well. 58 from 41. And that's how he departs with a strike rate of 141.
And what that wicket does, Eli, it gives Gladiators an opportunity to really cash in. Two new batsmen at the crease now. Clive Chumba, he's just faced the 4 balls. And with the new man striding out to the crease, very important for Gladiators to close off this innings well.
Yeah, applause for Munyongwe from his teammates there. And they really appreciate his effort and what he has done. And he's given them a good platform to launch from here. And they have 8 wickets in hand. And they have something that they can work with. Kevin Kasuza is the new batter at the crease. A good place for Gladiators, like you did mention. 2 new batters at the crease. So definitely you need to utilize that. You've got spinners in action, so you can try and get a couple of quick overs in there. And in no time, we're 15 down.
Oh, the inside edge saves him there. Kevin Kasuza, the very first ball he faces from Milton Shumba, and he's already asking questions. So a very, very good over for the Gladiators. 13 overs gone, 112 for 2.
Now, despite some of the colds and flus, they're braving it and still coming to watch cricket, and that's good. We appreciate that. So that's the Westside Cricket Club's table there. And their openers did well, 58 of 41 from Nigel Bonyongwe, and then Tinashe Chiwara, 46 of 33. They've done their team pretty well, and they've set them a good platform, like I've said. And now it's Clive Chumba and Kevin Kasuza to do the honors and see if they can continue from there. 7 overs to work with.
Well, the next couple of overs really, really crucial for both these sides. Westside Cricket Club with 2 new batsmen. Gladiators need to continue the squeeze. Fans having an absolute blast out here at Harare Sports Club. Well, if you're in the area, there's 7 overs to go in this innings and the chase, so come through and enjoy some cricket.
That's Masimba Marovatsa into the attack. Starts off with the wide. Not the start that he would have wanted. That's Marovatsanga. He needs to do better. Another wide called by Foster Mtizo. I did say the line belongs to the umpire, and he's cutting it pretty fine.
Well, he's certainly flirting with it, that's for sure. I'll tell you who Masimba Marovatsanga reminds me of. His stature, his run-up, kind of looks like a Tanaka Chivanga kind of approach. I got confused a little bit there. Even the bowling action is a lot like him. And another wide, Eli.
Now, I don't know if it's the nerves. It's your first over in the game. And you've given away 3 freebies. And you're still yet to bowl a legal delivery. Updating people on where you are and the score there. It's good to see. Even the turn that he does coming to bowl, Tanaka Chivanga style.
Oh, it's clear who his role model is. Much better this time. It'll just be a dot ball. It'll give him a lot of confidence. Kevin Kasuza also still trying to get used to the conditions out there. And that current run rate has dropped. It was a lot over 10 for a lot in this innings, but it's now just under 9. So this is good from Gladiators. Marovatsanga looking to come back strong here.
That's a good shout, but no one picks the ball up. There's still a single. And quick one. Good thinking from the Westside pair of Kevin Kasuza and Clive Chumba. I was just about to say, it just goes to show you how important top balls are at reducing the run rate coupled with taking wickets. So those 2 wickets, they fell quite quickly, one after the other, and this is why the scoring rate has dropped.
Well, he swung the kitchen sink at that one. Definitely feeling like the boundaries have dried up. He wants to get a boundary. And how often in T20 cricket, and cricket in general, does one lead to 2 in quick succession? One falls, another one all of a sudden it swings again. Momentum now on the Gladiators. It makes for fantastic viewing, doesn't it?
Definitely does. Just opens the face of the blade to still a quick single. That's Clive Chumba. Now, the tragedy with T20, you're not given time to settle. You need to get going because you have a target that you need to get to. So not much to work with. Shilim seems a little bit worried. Signaling to her throat, there's just trouble there.
Yeah, doesn't look to be doing too well. Marovatsanga goes to Kasuza, who goes upish. They're thinking about the second. Definitely no second run there. Seems Kevin is just struggling to get the timing early on, obviously, but this is a very good comeback from Marovatsanga after the 3 wides early in the over.
No, definitely he's done well and be good.
14 overs gone. Westside Cricket Club 118 for the.
That's the pair of Clive Chumba, and the total around the 90s. They haven't added much. He's got 250 runs to his umpire, Chris Peary.
It was a little chilly out there. Gets to stretch his arms out, move around a bit. Get the blood flowing. I love their jumpers, by the way. Very, very nice. Kromen Zinyama, he'll be looking to make amends here. Strays on the pads again. Kevin Kasuza will feel he's missed out just to get the single there. Hits it straight to short, fine leg. a single. They do need to get a move on, Eli. You mentioned that.
Definitely they need to get a move on. We had a pair that did quite well in giving you a good start. You don't want to put that to waste. A wide call. Croman straying wide on both sides of the wicket. First one was down the leg side. Now this time it's now the offside. Some concerned faces there for Westside Cricket Club.
That's good. Well, he frees his arms, manages to get it over the infield. No real timing on that one, so it won't go all the way to the boundary, but they will come back for a second. And you mentioned, Eli, just before that delivery, a few concerned faces out there, rightfully so, really nicely.
And they're finding it hard to score. That's the pair of Kevin Kasuza and Clive Chumba. Something is going to give quite soon. Either the pair are going to break these shackles, or I'll tell you what, Gladiators tend to pick up another wicket anytime soon.
Well, is this another case of commentators' curse? Eli, you called it, pressure told. Croman Zinyama loves it. It's all smiles out there for the Gladiators. But I think Clive Chumba will, if he was listening, I mean, he had had enough of the pressure being built on one end. And Kevin Kasuza, well, he has to depart. And once again, Gladiators really coming back into this nicely. He departs for 3 off 6 balls.
Well, the favour swings from one end to the other. At the start of the game, Westside were looking to set themselves up pretty well. But I tell you what, Gladiators have this game by the third. It's well within to keep Westside to a reasonable total. Croman Zinyama on that occasion finding the off stump and picks up a wicket. Doesn't cost him much so far in the over.
Well, my namesake Tariro Makauyo is the next man in. Sure, he's set for a great innings. It's in the name. It's all in the name.
Oh, were you a batter or bowler, TC?
I was actually a wicketkeeper opening batsman.
Let's see if he's got a touch of that. Up and over. No real great connection. And they will come back for 2. Ah, close. And yes, it does. A beautiful throw. Effects a run out. The man who just walks in will walk back out.
Well, I'm a little bit startled here. He goes, frees his arms, lands safe, fair enough. But almost trotted the second run and got himself run out. It was a fantastic throw in. Taking the second run casually. Have a look at that. Slides his bat in casually. Forced him. Tizwa says, you're short of your ground. He has to depart. Well, just for the one.
Tyro Macario to depart for 1. Didn't complete the second that he was looking for. And Westside are pretty much now in a very interesting position. They were on 90 for no loss. Currently 125 for the loss of 4. Now the camp says it all. Tendai Chatara's face doesn't look like a happy chap, I tell you.
Not at all. And it's a team hat-trick ball here. And wow, what a twist and a turn we've seen over the last couple of overs. Gladiators really, really on top now. Just the one ball to come in the over. Definite Mawadzi is the new man in. He's got just this one ball to contend with in this over. Well, the freebie, that'll be called wide by the umpire.
6 runs off this over. But the most important column is the wickets column. 2 have fallen. 1 was a good ball from Croman Zinyama just outside off stump. And a good throw to effect a run out. Shot from Definite Mawaza to get off the mark. And that'll be the end of the 15th. I'll step away for a bit after 15 overs. 127 for the loss of 4.
Dean, what a reversal we've witnessed here. One stage, Westside Cricket Club looked like getting towards 220 when Nigel Bonyongwe, 58 from 41, and Chiwara, 46 from 33 were going. And then Gladiators have managed to take 4 quick wickets and really turn this one around. Milton Shumba 1 for 20, Croman 1 for 22. And then there's been a run out, a couple of run outs. It's Maroa Tsanga from the city end. Now I think from this position, a score around 150, maybe 160, they'd be very, very happy with, having looked like getting 220.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what I was talking about earlier on in the commentary stint. I said that you, as a fielding side, should never be too disheartened, because sometimes the openers can lay a very, very good platform or foundation, but then the rest of the batters just can't finish it off. And this is exactly what we, up to this juncture, we see Gladiators fighting back very, very nicely.
In his 64th match is Masimba Maroa Tsanga. Just 5 runs from his bowling so far. And that has been smashed. Or has it? No, it hasn't got enough legs. And it's a very straightforward catch to get rid of Definite Mawadzi as Westside Cricket lose their 5th wicket. My initial reaction was that he'd gotten a hold of that one. And just now you can see that he didn't quite find the middle of the bat. And it's a very straightforward catch, right on the boundary. Westside Cricket lose their 5th wicket at 127 as Definite Mawadzi 1 for 4.
It's now when they had reached 80 for no wicket that they'd now be floundering at 127 for 5. Goodness me. So Definite Mawadzi will be very disappointed with that. He would have liked to have seen it through until the very, very end.
Tell you what it is, it's this 2 run-outs. You get given some opportunities to get some run-outs, really good out cricket, good fielding, good ground fielding, can often set up, get you into positions that you can actually win from. We have the saying in cricket, catches win matches, but run-outs can do the same. Prosper Mgeri is on strike. He's the new batsman in. And that sounded like an edge. Outside edge, and it's been given. Masimba Maroa Tsanga picks up his 2nd wicket.
Fantastic stuff for Maruzanga. That's a 6th wicket down now. Goodness me, it's all going horribly wrong now for Westside. They really were in complete control and command. But now Prosper Mgeri has to go. Well, he'll be hoping that he can try and make amends with the ball in his hand just now. But now it's all sorts of trouble at 127 for 6.
Just been really impressed by Gladiators Cricket Club tonight. They just lost the last couple of days. The leading wicket taker and player coach, Malcolm Chikua, being picked to go with the ladies who are qualifying in Namibia next week. And lost another key player. That's player number 6, if my count's correct. And then to be able to, in those conditions, having those problems, to come in and put on a performance like this is something to really, really, really look forward on and applaud. Vincent Masekesa on strike. Tsanga's bowled beautifully this evening. 2 wickets for 5 runs from 1 over and 5 balls. Has really brought Gladiators back into this match. Two wickets and just 1 run from that Marawatanga over as Westside Cricket are 128 for 6.
I tell you what, it's incredible. You know, we were talking early on in commentary and just saying that the Gladiators need to keep believing that 1 wicket can lead to another. We spoke about situations where we've seen sides get off to very good starts and then lose it. But I tell you what, they've certainly, Westside have lost their way very, very badly in this middle period, and now it's going to be very difficult for them at the back end of the innings to try and accelerate, because they lost so many wickets after such a very good foundation had been laid. What do you think of the crowd, Darlington? There's not a very big crowd, but they're very boisterous and vocal, aren't they?
Very animated crowd tonight, like Gladiators. Just seems to always be a perennial favorite of the spectators here at Harare Sports Club. Many of the most popular cricket sides here in this competition have been the Takashinga sides, but I think the Gladiators cricket supporters are just a little bit more boisterous when they're supporting Gladiators. Dot balls. Another dot ball, this time from Croman Zinyama. Just continuing to build that pressure on Westside Cricket.
You speak of the crowds favouring the Takashinga sides. It's because they can relate to them. A lot of these spectators and supporters who are here now, when they were much younger, would have watched a huge amount of the likes of Hamilton Masakadza when he was in his prime. They would have watched Alton Chikumbura, Prosper Utseya.
Oh, that's been a missed run out. Lennox Chando's just made a total mess up of that. Some really good work on the boundary again. Got the ball in, and Lennox Chando couldn't collect. Looks like he's knocked over the stumps and didn't have the ball in his hands when he did that. But again, it's really good ground fielding. Quick to the ball and strong arms. And here he just isn't able to collect. Masekesa is given a life. And that good fielding just causes a period of hesitation, and then the misfield allows Masekesa to come back for a second.
Westside have lost so many wickets in succession.
For sale in the Centurion tonight. Good place to English cricket that's on the TV as well. If you're a fan, Vitality Bars cricket being shown. There's the action out there that's been absolutely riveting this evening.
You speak of the nice food that's being sold at the Centurion. Tell you what, the smells that come up from where we are on our platform just above the Centurion, my goodness me, certainly gets the mouth watering.
Projected score now 155. Fantastic work from Gladiators. Brought that projected score down from 221 at one stage. And a fantastic power play at Westside Cricket. But it was a couple of run-outs, I think, that are the key to Gladiators being in this really wonderful position they find themselves in now. And it's Marawatanga to continue.
very, very tight. He's got wickets. I don't think his captain could ask anything more from him.
Clive Chumba has managed to get it away wide of long off. Should just be 2 runs. This time he's got it. Or has he? Yes, he has. All the way to the boundary for 6.
Just for a minute, a split second, the fielder would have been interested out there, but it had enough power on it to clear the boundary for now. What we could say, a much needed 6. Well, I tell you what, a couple of overs ago we were talking about boundaries that were flowing like champagne at a wedding. Now it's completely dried up. So a much needed 6 to the cause of Westside.
And again, it looks like it's a repeat, and this one is even bigger. Clive Chumba picks up his second 6 of this Maroa Tsanga over.
Well, you may have heard me talking when Clive Chumba came to the crease saying that he wasn't necessarily known for big hitting. He's proving me absolutely wrong at this moment in time with back-to-back 6s in a time where it really matters for Westside.
What he's done, he's just starting to get a shift in momentum back towards Westside Cricket Club. Really important to go into that session when you bowl with the momentum behind you, and I think he's been able to just start to create that shift. He's got to go and bat through to the end of this innings, and he could put Westside Cricket, psychologically anyway, in a very, very strong position. And that is the third one, and it's an even better hit because it was a slower ball from Maroa Tsanga. Had to wait for it. He picked it, waited for it.
Maroa Tsanga will be saying, what have I done wrong? I bowled 2 overs, took 2 wickets for 5 runs, and now look what's happened. I've been hit for 18 runs in 3 deliveries. This is a cruel, cruel game of cricket. Clive Chumba is taking full advantage. My goodness me, what a good shot that was. Slow delivery, but he spotted it and he smashed it.
Good comeback to close off the over. 21 runs from it. 154 for 6. .27 from 14, the partnership between Masekesa and Chitumba. Croman Zinyama into ball, which is going to effectively be his last over. And a little chip into the covers, and it's a well-taken catch from Masimba Maroa Tsanga. .154 for 7 it now becomes as Masekesa has to depart. Just a little chip into the covers, and Maroa Tsanga had to run. It's a good catch. Looking over his left shoulder.
Well, I think what he may have been trying to have done there, Masekesa Darlington, was to try and get Clive Chumba back on strike. But it was a little chip shot that went wrong for him. So as you've just said, Maroa Tsanga taking a very, very nice catch. So 154 for 7, Westside.
Dean, Maroa Tsanga just went for 21 in his previous over. Do you think he's going to bowl the last over from the city end, or would you be looking for a change in the bowling?
It's a difficult one because you probably would be looking for a change in the bowling. But now the question is, who would you give the ball to? That's the big one, because Maroa Tsanga had bowled very, very nicely. Well, his first 2 overs, as you know, had only gone. Oh, there's an appeal.
Oh, wow, it's Kraman Zinyama has gotten one through. Frank Mwajita hit the top of the leg stump. 154 for 8.
Well, once again, Gladiators finding a way back when Clive Chumba was beginning to take charge. But they keep chipping away at the wickets column. That's 2 wickets and 2 balls now.
Roman Zinyama finds himself on a hat trick. First ball bowled Frank Majita. And it is John Masada. He's a former Zimbabwe international who is coming out to face up to this Roman Zinyama hat trick. Most amazing reversal has happened this evening. 100-run opening partnership, and then suddenly a run out, and Westside Cricket find themselves losing 8 wickets for 54 runs.
Come over.
Manages to keep out the attempted Yorker from Roman Zinyama.
I guess I'll hand this question straight back to you then, Darlington. What are you going to do from the other end? Would you maybe take a risk, and what would you do in terms of the bowling now?
Well, given the fact that Roman Zinyama's managed to pick up another 2 wickets, I'd probably go with Maroa Tsanga again. He's just got to make an adjustment in his lengths. Really, it's a conversation I ought to be having to him. Is make sure you get it into the block hole when you're bowling at Chitumba. Don't bowl length at him because he's going to hit you out the ground. And again, it's length, this time from Roman Zinyama, and it's slashed away behind point for another boundary for Clive Chitumba, who's now 30 from just 17 deliveries.
Yeah, you can't be bowling length. You cannot be bowling length to Clive Chitumba, and I would have thought that the bowlers would have learned something from the previous over. The width was there, the length was just right for it to be slashed away.
And again, he's given himself room. This time he's got it away, not to the backward point boundary. And good work keeps it down to 2 runs.
Chitumba 32 of just 19 deliveries, so he's playing a very, very special innings here for Westside. I remember the innings that he played a couple of days ago when Westside beat Soga Rangers. It was a slightly more restrained innings. It just shows you how versatile he is.
Just to put what he's done into perspective, this is Clive Chitumba's first time playing under lights here at Harare Sports Club, and he's really lit it up tonight. 33 from 19, 162 for 8.
I think I need to also qualify what I said by a more restrained innings that he played against the Sogo ranges. So he scored his 54 not out of just over 40 deliveries, so that's still a very, very healthy strike rate. But he only hit about 5 or 6 boundaries. So tonight he's cleared the boundary on 3 occasions. And I think it just goes to show how he's able to change it up. So he can be your touch player, and now he's showing us tonight that he does have the power as well.
Looks like it's Munashe Zata with 7 runs from the 1 over he's bowled tonight. He's going to be bowling the final over, and it's Clive Chumba on strike. Field is spread. Got to make sure he gets it into that block hole. Bowled at length and gotten away with it.
Well, Clive Chumba may just be a little disappointed with that, because everything previously that has been bowled in terms of length has been dealt with. So Munashe has to try and pitch the ball up as full as he possibly can, get it right up into the block hole.
That's a much better delivery. Very difficult to get underneath balls that length, and this looks like a run-out opportunity, but John Masada is able to make his way back. It's the right idea from him. Want to make sure that Clive Chumba faces as much of this over as possible. Clive Chumba wasn't really interested, so it's now up to John Masada to make sure he finds a single of either the 3rd or the 4th delivery of this over, so that Clive Chumba can face the last couple of deliveries in this match. Run on the bye is Clive Chumba. This is good cricket. Just maintaining the pressure he's been able to exert against Gladiators. Just needs to make sure he finds the boundary at least a couple of times off the last 3 deliveries. Oh, big swing and a miss. This has been good bowling from Zata. What he's done, slightly different from what Dean and I were recommending. He's bowled length, but he's gotten it outside the line of off stump. Clive Chumba looking to swing that over long on in cow corner. A little bit more difficult when the ball's about a foot outside the line of off stump. This time he's gotten himself into position to get it behind square on the leg side. Here's that all-important boundary to get Westside cricket to 168.
That boundary that you spoke of, Darlington, and he's got it. And it's a very nice shot. It's a clever shot, isn't it?
Just a little shimmy across his stumps, gets outside the line of off stump so he can access his favoured leg side. 1 ball left in this Westside cricket innings. This one's gone straight up. 3 fielders converging upon it, and it's fantastic catch. That is Faiz Mukabeta, and what a salute. You totally deserve to celebrate in that fashion as Westside cricket lose in wicket number 9 of the last delivery of their 20 overs. Again, it's the line outside, length ball outside the line of off stump. Makes it very difficult for Chitumba to drag it over the leg side. He finds a thickest outside edge, and a fantastic catch from Faiz Mkabeta brings the end of a very entertaining innings as Westside Cricket Club are 168 for 9 in their 20 overs.
It was very nicely set up by the 2 openers of Westside, who really went about their business and in a very impressive manner. And then Gladiators found a way back quite magnificently through the middle period, but Clive Chumba has still given Westside something to work with here. Of that there is no doubt. He played very nicely at the back end, Credit to Munashe Zata for the way that he bowled at the back end. We were saying Yorker, 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 but he continuously persisted by bowling length outside the off stump, which made it very difficult, and reaped the rewards.
Bowling, Ashley Mfandaya, the captain, opened bowling, 431 for him. Faisal Kabeto was expensive, 16 and over. And then Croman Zinyama took 3 wickets in that middle period, that very important period, bowled them back into the match. Munashe Zata, 6 runs and over for him, just 1 wicket. And Milton Shumba, 5 runs and over in his 4 overs for 1 wicket. Tapiwa Mshope. To the summary of this game so far, Westside Cricket batted first after having lost the toss. Nigel Bonyongwe 58 from 41, Chiwara 46 from 33, and then very entertaining Clive Chumba 38 from 24. Croman Zinyam. Gladiators need to score 100.
Welcome back to Harare Sports Club. It's the Eliminator of the 2024 NPL T20 Blast. Westside Cricket Club taking on the Gladiators. Westside batting first, 168 for 9 in their allotted 20 overs. And the way we saw the surface play this afternoon in that first qualifier, it's going to have to be a very good chase from the Gladiators to get 169 and book themselves a place in tomorrow's second qualifier. Almost ready to go. Oh, that's well bowled. A bit of extra bounce, I think. Bit of bite in the surface for definite Mawadzi. Struck well down the ground. There is a mid-on. So a single brings Lennox Chando onto strike. He's been in sublime form for the Gladiators Cricket Club. Currently sits at number 3 in the runs order list. His contribution will be crucial to Gladiators trying to chase down this total. Remember, the team that loses tonight is eliminated from the NPL T20 Blast. Oh, there's a fielder down at long on. Oh, it is an outstanding effort. He's given it all that he's got. And he knew how crucial that opportunity was. How important would that dismissal have been? Making sure that the shoelaces are nicely tied. Mawadzi very quick through the air, gets the ball to skid on, so difficult to get away. That's it. Oh, a long way. Into position. It's well bowled. The arm's going to go into a short third edge. And Gladiators Cricket Club, the remaining 19 overs, has been outstanding with bat in hand. Makawio has put in some runs. The senior statesman of the NPL, at the moment, and has been prolific. 100 to the NPL T20 Blast Tournament Director, Mr. Wanda Chisango. Mr. Chisango, thank you very much for your time this evening. You must be truly excited to be at this stage anyway of the NPL T20 Blast.
Thank you very much, Tino, for having me. Yes, very much excited. It's been a successful tournament, and we've seen quite a number of good matches, and that has been positive to see.
You talk about a number of good matches. I think almost every single match has been competitive. We look at teams like Mbizo, who in the last couple of years have been nowhere near the top of the NPL log at the end of the season. This time they almost get themselves into the NPL T20 playoffs. What do you have to say for teams like that and the progression of club cricket in Zimbabwe?
I think it's something that is quite positive. It just shows how important the clubs are taking this tournament in their provinces. Going back 2 years ago when they first came into the season, they did struggle, but I'm happy that they went back to the drawing board, looked for a couple of new players to come in. I think they had about 2 or 3 Nigerian national team players coming through as well. So that's positive that their management is also taking this tournament seriously.
And just another boundary. We've seen that previous ball from Lennox Chando. Outside edge, it's gone wide of the keeper. It's going to go for 4 more. Now Westside will realize the importance of trying to get this man out as quickly as possible. It's not a bad delivery at all from Prosper Mgeri. Good length. He's got shape away from the right-hander. It's just taken the outside edge and gone away for 4. So the over with 2 balls to go, sitting pretty at 8. And Gladiators 20 for none so far with a couple of balls to go in the second over. Looking very, very good. Short ball, pulled away, fielder back, will just be 1. Wonder, let's talk a little bit more about how much work has to go into organizing this cricket. Remember that the NPL T20 blast happens in the off season really for Zimbabwe cricket. So it's the winter time when sometimes some players are away. But how much work goes into putting together a tournament for the NPL, first of all the 45 over with 14 teams from across the country, and then moving on to the NPL T20 blast and bringing all 8 into the capital city?
Well, it's quite significant, but we've got a really talented group of guys who are working on the tournament that are in the NPL committee. So you look at the 45 over tournament, which is basically played across the country: Mutare, Masvingo, Kwekwe, Bulawayo, and obviously Harare. So we have the general managers of those provinces coming into play and administrators. So we don't really run the tournament centrally, but we do have people in the provinces who are able to make sure that things are in place for us. So it makes life much more easier. So obviously transport is the biggest issue, because you look at teams travel in the morning, play, then come back in the evening. So it actually, the players do take a strain, but I'm happy to note that they managed to withstand that. And we had a very successful 45 over tournament, which was obviously won by Takashinga 1. I think, like what you mentioned, it's been very competitive. You look at the guys, the teams that qualified for the top 8. It was a touch and go basis. Almost everyone had the same number of points. So yeah, we're just happy that the standard of play has greatly improved.
Yeah, that we've certainly seen. Frank Mazvita comes into the attack for Westside from the golf course end immediately. Lennox Chando advancing down the wicket and looking to take him on. Turned out for Zimbabwe under-19s. Frank Mazvita, he's one who's got a lot of variations. He won't be shy to use them. Single down to third man. You talk about the tournament and all the different I guess that also gives them a learning curve and the responsibility to understand the importance of administration of the game, and they can taper that down to their development coaches, to the managers of those clubs that are taking part in these competitions.
Yes, definitely. And also bringing the game to the communities also is a great deal. You look at, we have Westside on the ground right now, and they were playing in Mutare. Imagine what it's like for a player from Dangamvura, a young boy, seeing Tendai Chatara actually out there at Harare Sports Club in action. They would have obviously would have seen him on TV, but they'll get a live chance to actually see him playing in their hometown, and also maybe playing against the top batters in the country that they've seen on TV. So I'm sure that's sponsors also want to see their teams play in their hometown. So obviously that has definitely helped a couple of teams out there because they're now starting to get a little bit of sponsorship from the local community.
You come up to a good point, sponsorship. How difficult has it been for teams to start getting sponsorship at this level? I've seen quite a number of these clubs now have got people advertising on their shirts, so I guess that bodes well for club cricket. Swung away, there is a deep mid-wicket, so they'll just get 2.
Yeah, definitely it's been difficult for clubs, but I'm happy that with a couple of years that we've had this tournament, people are now start coming on board. I think the biggest thing, like what I mentioned, it's taking the cricket to the communities. Once the communities step up, they see the action in play, they do step up.
Yeah, always really important. The corporate support for teams, whether it's at club level, whether it's at provincial level, whether it's at national level. Brings us to the end of the third over. 26 for none. Wanda, you mentioned a little bit earlier in our conversation about senior players and the role that they play. How important is it for those senior players to come and give off what they give? And what do those youngsters get to learn from Emil Zarabani, from Angarava, opening bowling at Takashinga 1, a former player, Hamilton Masakadze, taking part in the team, Tendai Chatara, who's playing in a Westside team, has been the spirit of the Zimbabwe attack for many, many years?
I think the upcoming players need players to mold them, to speak to them, especially when they are, especially if you're looking like batters, they are at the center and they're batting. There are certain scenarios where you actually need senior players to come in and talk to them, and for them just to read the game. So you look at a player like Ryan Kamwemba. He was playing for Strikers during the 45 over tournament. They did struggle at Strikers because they didn't have a lot of senior players around them, but he's moved to Takashinga 2 and he scored a couple of runs just because he's got a couple of senior players around him, talking to him as he's going through his paces. So I think that really helps a lot.
And you bring up another important point, player registration. That's a beauty. That is a real good stroke from Lennox Chando. Short of a length from Chatara. He knows that there's nobody over the cover ring. And that is a beautifully timed stroke off the back foot, over the top on purpose. And he gets another boundary. 34 now the Gladiators move on to in just 3.2 overs. They are well within this chase. Run rate up above 10. 135 still needed. And just 100 balls. Change in field now. Clive Chumba, who was at first slip, moves into mid-wicket. There's been a lot of questions around registration of players, and you've just mentioned the player who played in the NPL 45 over competition for one team and played now for a different team in the NPL T20 Blast. Just talk us through how players can register for both of those tournaments.
So basically for the 45 over tournament, you submit, teams submit a list of 25 players. Then those 25 players are logged in. Once we finish the 45 over tournament, obviously there are a couple of teams that would have dropped off. Then we allow the teams that are in the top 8 who are participating in the NPL T20 Blast to add an additional 3 players from any other club that has been knocked out. So that's why you see players like Ryan being able to move to Takashinga 2 and Kaitano being able to move to Mbizo.
So for example, if I'm part of the Westside team, for example, in the NPL 45 over competition, and the team's not happy with my performance, even though I get through to the NPL T20 Blast, are they able to replace me in the Blast team due to my performance and replace me with somebody from another?
So unfortunately not. What you can do is only add. You can't remove. Yeah.
Okay, thanks just for clearing that up for us, Mr. Chisango. Last ball of the 4th over coming up. It's been a very good one thus far for the Gladiators. 10 from it. What will they do with this last delivery? They won't be able to get it away. Lennox Chando, little wry smile. Brings us to the end of the 4th. It's 36 for none. Encouraging start for this Gladiator side in pursuit of 169. And have a look at the worm there, slightly under the one of the Westside team, but you can see that they built quite steadily through the innings, and then towards the end just tapered off around that 15-16 over mark. Didn't quite ascend how they would have wanted to, and it was due to that cluster of wickets that you saw in the space of 2 or 3 overs, 4 wickets falling. Majita will continue from the golf course end. mix up. Manages to get himself to the other side, Chingoruma, without a problem. Now, obviously, the NPL and this NPL T20 Blast serves as a pre-season or a precursor for the domestic season. How important is this for some of these younger players that are coming through, your Taruvingas who we've seen, your Lennox Chandos who are seeing now, who haven't got first team places in provincial teams yet, but certainly putting their hand up?
So I think the NPL T20 Blast has come at the right time. So other than the new players that you're mentioning, other than the new players that we're mentioning, we are probably hosting the Zim Afro T10 in a couple of weeks to come. So obviously it's an opportunity for scouts and the people who are going to be involved with the auctions to actually have a look at those players and make informed decisions when it comes to picking their players. It's also an opportunity for other scouts outside the country as well, in different leagues, to actually have a look at our players and maybe give them an opportunity. And as you mentioned, we're coming into our domestic league. It's also an opportunity for the franchise coaches to actually have a look at the up and coming players, and hopefully one or two players who have performed well, who are playing in the under-19s, will be able to make the provincial sides, or even if they don't, maybe make any other representative sides that we have in the country.
It's gone up in the air. Is that an opportunity? Tendai Chitala, he won't get there. They'll come back for two. The Gladiators. Finally, for me, Wanda Chisango, of course, the organization has been fantastic from an administration point of view. The ground staff have done a fantastic job to keep pitches fresh all the way through the winter and give us some really competitive scores, especially in the NPL T20 Blast. What for you has stood out the most in this competition?
I think what stood out for me is the quality of cricket that we've witnessed. I think the scores that we've witnessed in the last couple of days have been competitive, and that's just been a positive for me. If I look at when this tournament started, there was a huge gap between the teams, but now you look at the games that have been played, almost everyone put out a fight, and they've always been competitive.
Shot again from Lennox Chando. He moves on to 42 in 21 balls. He's striking at 200, and Westside are going to have to get this man out in pretty quick fashion. Otherwise, they'll be finding themselves staring down the barrel. 47 for no loss and 4.5. I'll take this opportunity to say a very big thank you to Wanda Chisango, the NPL and the NPL T20 Blast tournament director.
Thanks, Tina.
Run out opportunity, and he'll get home safely. So, Gladiators on a roller coaster start. 5 overs gone, 48 for none. Chando leads the chase.
Lennox Chando, 43 from 22, continues in his rich vein of form. 48 for none. Almost exactly the sort of start that Westside Cricket Club got before them. And again, he's worked it away to the leg side, coming back for the second. And it's the misfield that allows them to come back comfortably. Brings the 50 up for Gladiators Cricket Club, and just the 6th from 5 overs and 1 delivery. 119 needed.
It's a very, very good start here for Gladiators. And I tell you what, I've been highly impressed with Lennox Chando. My goodness, he's played some beautiful strokes. I think to me, the most pleasing one was, yes, he did hit a big towering 6 But the shot that he hit of Tendai Chatara, Darlington, nothing more than just a little push.
Back foot drive over the covers.
Yes, that's the one.
Exquisite. He's just a hit away from his first 50 here at Harare Sports Club during this T20 blast. And on target to get his side into that big matchup against Takashinga Patriots 1. That's gone straight up. Looks like it's definitely Mawazi who's underneath it and takes the catch. But Lennox Chando might have already done enough damage here. 47 from 25 deliveries. Really given the Gladiators run chase a little bit of impetus. Good start.
So Lennox Chando's very, very good innings of 47 comes to an end. I think he'll be very disappointed with the fact that he wasn't able to convert it into perhaps a 50 or a 60. But he gave the innings some really, really good impetus. Now, we saw what happened when Gladiators were in a similar position. They were under the pump. They started taking wickets at regular intervals. Will we see a similar situation unfold here now?
It's another young talent, Panashe Taruinga, just out of the under-19s, Zimbabwe under-19s, who's replaces Lennox Chando. Had another good innings already in this competition of 100 from just 54 deliveries. Set up a win for Gladiators. Been given another opportunity here to do something similar. He gets off the mark immediately. Tendai Chatara just already 14 runs from 1 over and 4 deliveries. I'm used to seeing him be that expensive.
Yes, he's normally so effective, especially with the new ball when he would get bounced and a bit of movement, and then with the slightly older ball, very, very good in taking pace off it.
Here's that bounce that Gene was just alluding to. Oh, it's a great change of pace. Just cranked it up a little bit. Ruma, 3 runs from the 9 balls he's faced. Hasn't really got going yet. He was just watching from the other end as Lennox Chando was just smashing the ball everywhere.
Darlington, you were an all-rounder in your day. Now, do you think that would have disappointed you in getting out for 47 and given the way that you'd been playing? Or would you have said to yourself, yeah, look, I missed out on a 50, but what I've done is I've got my side off to a very good start here, so it doesn't really matter too much?
I think this is a slightly higher pressure game. 54 for 1. We'll just talk about that after 6. Slightly more higher pressure game. And I think the thing that separates really good players from also runs is the fact that they understand really high pressure games, because it's important on this night to make sure that you win, because there's everything to win, to play for tonight. It's important that you make sure you win this game. And I think I'd have been disappointed to get out for 48 in that period and not be the one who actually hits the winning runs, having gotten that kind of start. And I think it's so important particularly in pressure matches like this. You've got to learn to actually kill the...
Just off a start, you don't just...
Well, that is a beautiful delivery from John Masara. It's the googly, and it's gone through Chingoru. Manages to get himself off strike, a little too straight from Masara.
It's good to see John Masara back in the action now, isn't it? Because we saw him make his international debut against Bangladesh in the 3rd and final T20 international 2 years ago. And I think
Just off the outside edge, should just be 2. It's just been a difficult time for him. I think there is another leg spinner called Privileged Chesa, who's moved ahead of him in the pecking order, as it were. And then the other leg spinner who's moved ahead of him in the pecking order is Brandon Mavuta, who did play in the series that Zimbabwe lost against Ireland here at Harare Sports Club, but just really showed a knack for bowling those magic deliveries that get really good players out. And then Ryan Burl, who's gets in as a leading batter, finisher. And so I think that's why he hasn't really been able to get in. There's been a couple of guys who've had performances that have put themselves ahead of where John Masada is.
And that's the nice thing, is he will now say to himself, right, I know it's up to me to find a way to make my way back into contention, to be...
That's a beautiful delivery. Chingo Ruma has not been picking John Masada's googly, and this time he didn't pick it up either. Played right away across it, and he's the second wicket to fall for Gladiators tonight. Had a real struggle on his hands, didn't really get any fluency going, and so he's got to depart. It's with 5 from 13 deliveries that he faced. 58 for 2.
Well, they're fighting back, that's for sure. We saw just now when Gladiators were in the field how they were able to find a way back when Westside got off to such a good start. We're seeing it now again. 2 quick wickets. And well bowled John Masada. Very, very well bowled. Back the years and talk of leg spinners in years gone by, and it's always something that they've been blessed with.
You mentioned earlier, I think during the game that preceded this one, Timson Maruma began his career as a leg spinner and then turned into a dashing batter who can really smash the ball a long way. So yes, it's been quite a few.
Boys. Go, Vene. Today, Sushri. Yabu. Vene.
And the art of leg spin normally is something that you would develop over years, unless you're somebody very special like Rashid Khan, who was just incredibly gifted and talented, and pretty much from ball one was able to not necessarily perfect the art but bowl very well. But leg spinners over the years, you look at someone like Brandon Mavuta, for example, he too has been in the system for a number of years, and it's only over the last year or 14 months where he bounced back beautifully.
I'll tell you, you interviewed Harry Tector when Ireland were here in December last year. And I think you know that I have very high opinions of Harry Tector.
As do I.
And the most amazing dismissal of Harry Tector in that series was affected by Brandon Mavuta. Got one that was short and quick to turn quite sharply, hit the top of off stump, and left him looking bemused. And that is a quality player. And so, anyway, this is the match summary now. Westside Cricket Club 168 for 9. Clive Chumba smashed it around at the end to get them a competitive total. Then Lennox Chando, 47 from 25. Basically hasn't done the sort of work that Clive Chumba did. And now it's up to Panashe Taruwinga and Milton Shumba to get the 169, another 100 runs that they need to win.
It's very, very evenly balanced.
That is a real sign of the level of talent this young man has. Leg spinning delivery, and he's hit it into out, got it over extra cover into the boundary for his first boundary tonight.
I wish people at home had an idea as to how very difficult it is to play a shot like that. It really is. It takes a lot of confidence and self-belief and ability to hit a leg spinner inside out over extra cover.
And it's John Masara has predominantly bowled googlies tonight. It means he's reading him out the hand. He was able to tell the difference to see that that was not the googly. That's the one that's turning away. And I can apply that shot over extra cover. Some really remarkable signs of talent there.
I think as much as we also often like to talk about leg spinners and the accuracy that they have and the control that they have and variations of big leg spinning deliveries and googlies and flippers, ultimately it's bounce that is a leg spinner's best friend, Darlington.
He's still again targeting that area through the extra cover region. This time he's deliberately kept it on the floor. Clive Chumba's had to pull out a very good stop. Looking for another boundary. And now he's gone inside it, trying to work it behind square to find another boundary. Really starting to show some signs of real enterprise tonight has Panashe Tarawinga. But yes, I do agree. It's the ability some leg spinners have to get the ball to bounce a little bit more than other bowlers do. Fantastic running. Milton Shumba, as soon as he hit it, had called two. But your partner's got to trust your call, trust your judgment. End of the ninth, 78 for 2.
78 for the loss of 2 wickets after 9 overs then. I tell you what, this game could still go either way. It would be a wonderful, wonderful thing to see how Panashe Tarawinga goes about his business and Milton Shumba, who's relatively young in years as well, but considerably more experienced. And of course, Milton Shumba was very, very instrumental in chasing down a big total a couple of days ago. Played quite magnificently, actually. But I just want to say, Darlington Matamanadzo, I feel a sense of excitement coursing through me. I feel that this NPL has been a masterstroke. I think we have unearthed a huge amount of talent. Some of it will be very raw, but it's now how we nurture it and develop that very raw talent into skill.
Prosper Mugeri, just 1 over so far this evening for 9 runs. I think this is another prospect. He opened the bowling with Chatara. He's had a change of ends to bowl from the city end, which, memory serves me right, it seems to be his preferred end.
Boys, lefty boys, lefty boys, lefty boys.
Do you remember back in the beginning in March when we had the T20 festival and we had Durham here and you and I were commentating together, watching Prosper Mugere running in and bowling very quickly under the lights as well?
There was a little bit of greasiness. There was some dew that night. It hasn't really been the case this evening. And you got this length that was just back shorter than a really, really good length. And that was really effective. Took 3 wickets, I think, for 8 runs in that spell of bowling. Bowling that sort of length, but slightly more helpful surface. And that's been crashed to the boundary by Milton Shumba. His second boundary tonight.
Who's rediscovering his form. As Darlington alluded to, not the movement that Prosper Mugere is accustomed to here at Harare Sports Club under the lights tonight.
Oh, that's a run-out chance. If he had picked that up, Panashe Tarawinga wanted to get down to the strum, might have been in trouble.
Well, these are the half chances, I suppose, that you should be taking in the field. It's much easier said than done.
Not bringing your attention back to the earlier part of this match. Just a single into the covers, but it was the two run-outs for me that really set out that collapse. And it was Panashe Tarawinga was the one who got the first run-out. And then it was another one that involved the wicketkeeper Lennox Chando was the second run-out in a very short space of time. Just opened up, got rid of both of those openers, and then suddenly there was Westside found themselves under some real pressure. Didn't know how to play under that kind of pressure.
Nice boys. Boys, good daddy. Good
Yes,
boys.
and it had to be someone like Clive Chumba, who has been around for a couple of years, to ensure that they got their themselves to a decent and respectable total, because they certainly were collapsing like a deck of cards after a very, very good start. I want to talk more about Prosper Magere. I love the energy that he has when he approaches the crease.
Helped around the corner off the back foot by Tarawinga. It's going to be one run. Masada does the fielding. 10 gone. 85 for 2.
And that's the Manhattans that they have had so far. They're not that much far off from, and they can see just a point above the required. Continues. And this one will be worked away just for one.
Absolutely agree with that point. They've just looked really busy, Tarawinga and Milton Shumba. Oh, he gets a hand to it and helps it.
There is that one. Oh, the first be one
He
bounce.
steps back. The rope. There's
Shumba, good square. Fancy footwork there.
really put in all the effort with actually running in to deliver the ball. Might as well get down. Nonetheless, he has got a wicket to his name. I'll be surely looking for another one, but Tarawinga, the man on strike now, 23 off his 16 face deliveries. Gladiators on their way. Caught in
Yep.
two minds there.
They been very good about their business. 11 done. It's 99 for the loss of 2.
So nice little fast over there from John Masada. And
Now, current run rate, they're going at 9 and over. Required one is just above 7. 70 from 54 is what they need. 169 is the target. Just get a sense that as much as Gladiators sim on top, Westside, if they can get a couple of wickets, they could be back in the game. And Prosper Gary, 2 overs to his name so far. He's gone for 16. And we're looking for a better performance than his 3rd over.
we did see it earlier on today. You know, it just takes a few moments to turn a game on its head. So Westside very much in this contest still as Mugeri returns. Oh, bit of an appeal from behind the wickets, and well applauded by his mates in the change room.
And that was a good delivery. Right on the money. Body line, you would say. Cramping Milton Shumba for room. Nearly getting a faint edge to the wicket keeper.
He's kept the same line as mates, run out of his crease. I don't think Milton Shumba was particularly keen on a run on that occasion, hoping he's going to be okay.
Doctor will be called in for a concussion test on that occasion. And there might be a change of a helmet as well.
He's trying to convince Mr. Umpire that I'm all right, but Panashe Taruvinga, tell you what, he was more worried about the runs for the team. Which he will just get looked at. Just protocol. You've got to look after the lads. It's unfortunate. I don't know if you've been following, a situation like the Australian cricketer Molpakovsky, who's been forced to retire now. A great talent that never got to really see much of.
Yep. You always try to look out for such incidences. Doctor just having a chat with them so that they can just be sure of his condition and assess him. Is he able to continue? But it's all good.
Yeah, Milton's just asking him what's all the fuss for about. Good to go again, smile on his face, having a chat with Mr. Umpire as he returns to his mark. But tell you what, Prosper Mugeri has his number in this over, and you called it from the first ball.
Right. These two have been going on pretty well. Milton Shumba's on 19 from 13, and strike rate of 146. Panashe Taruvinga 23 off 17. And they've been doing well. They've been consistent in how they've gone about the business despite losing the 2 wickets that they have lost. 70 will be required from the remaining 52 deliveries. There we go. How is this going to go again? Prosper Mugeri.
I'll bounce him again. He did receive his one warning.
It's Fuller. And that'll bit the keeper. That'll be runs. It'll be 5 runs from that, 5 wides, you would say.
Unfortunately for Mugeri, he had started really well and was on course to dominate. So not that he still can't, but unfortunately spraying that one.
Yeah, 4 wides given their donation to the Gladiators that they will gladly accept.
Absolutely, it just takes the pressure off. 5 runs off an illegal delivery. Doing so well with cramping Shumba up there.
It's been a decent over. It's just that one delivery that was wide, and that will sort of release the pressure, of which I think Westside would need a couple of more overs of this nature. It's not yet complete, could go either way, but Mugeri has done well so far.
He has. Said he got a nice variation, that short ball that Shumba struggled with in the first 2 deliveries. Strong point of his. And just punched down the ground. Loud call for no as the man at point recovers that backward point. It's been a quite disciplined effort, you would say, from this Gladiator side. Not taking too much risk, but seizing any moments, taking any opportunities gifted to them.
Dot ball. There have been 4 dot balls in this over, and they've done well. And that is Westside. They're trying to put on as much pressure as possible.
So that is the equation, ladies and gentlemen. 64 required, or 49 balls for the Gladiator side to march on over into the next encounter, which will see them, whoever wins this game, march on to a qualifier for the cup final, where the Sogo Rangers, true to their form, sitting at the top, only 1 loss throughout, managed to qualify, and they are in the final. And then there's not 3 teams in the pot.
Yeah, definitely they've done well for themselves, winning that game against Takashinga Patriots earlier on today.
Wajita back into the attack. 16 off his 2 face deliveries.
Yeah, similarly, you'll be looking to try and emulate the efforts of the bowler that came before him, Frank Majita. It's Fuller, which just doesn't aid. Milton Shumba was already coming down the wicket.
A bit of intent being shown there by Milton Shumba, and obviously deciding that he might want to take them on. He's currently sitting at 20 off his 15 strike at 133. You don't want this guy to tee off if you are one of the Westside lads.
He plays it straight. He's pushing for 2, but they will settle for just a single.
Tendai Chatara, an experienced head, doing the cleaning up there.
This isn't campaigner. No, it's Tendai Chatara, a wealth of experience. I did see as well Donald Tiripano in the Westside changing room as well. So it's a side that I definitely.
He'd be nice to watch. Where? Any news if you are aware?
We'll find out. Panache looking to tee off on that occasion, but however doesn't get the connection that he wants. Shows his frustration there a bit. 23 of 21. Going at par with the required run rate. 63 required from 45. Just a few more dot balls will create pressure and something might give for Westside. Up in the air. Fielder coming around it. And it'll be on bounce and it'll send it through to just keep it to 2.
I don't know, but if you've noticed, Taringa and Shumba, their bats seem to turn in their hands on contact.
Probably just their gloves, losing a bit of grip in that because you really try to get a good grip on that handle to send the ball in the direction that you want to. Into the block hole, but they still a single. Good over so far, only 4 runs from it. From Frank Marita. He just needs to keep his cool and finish well here. And they will continue to exert a little bit of pressure on the Gladiators.
Oh, beautiful.
Punch back to the bowler. There was an opportunity there. But Frank not able to collect that one. He was still trying to finish his action there and needed to react. End of the 13th. It is 110 for the loss of 2.
I mean, you can hear the support coming from his own change room. It was good effort. He looks a bit disappointed by himself. He would have liked to have closed out that over with something to show for it. I think he did a good job.
I did a good job. 5 runs off that over. But it would have been a good one. And he finished off with a wicket there. Gladiators scorecard there. Lennox Chanda 47 from 25. And then these pair that is currently standing for Gladiators, Panasha Tarwinga 26 and Milton Shumba on 22. Doing well so far.
Brought back into the attack onto your knee. Helps it on its way. Milton Shumba. Shot I've seen him play many a time.
That was just too short. Too short. Allow Milton Shumba just to get under it and send it over. Shot fine leg there for 4. Not the start that Masekesa would have wanted.
Anything short, Shumba will pounce.
Shot again. Pulled away. Fielder will cut that one out. With the running that they're doing, they pick up a couple. So 6 runs already off this over.
struggling a little bit with his length, it seems, unless it is a plan.
Well, I don't think that's the plan, because in the 3 deliveries that is conceded so far, it's been 8 runs off it. And the previous bowler only conceded 5 from the 6. So Vincent Masekesa undoing the hard work that Matiwaza has been, Majita actually was doing. That's through. Again, they're pushing for 2. So it's a good over for Gladiators so far.
Well, they've done well, capitalized really. 8 runs with, beg your pardon, 10 runs with 2 deliveries to go still here. And he's dragged it short again, bowled, muscle away, 6 runs. Milton Shumba says, thank you very much. You bowled there, I'm going to hit.
Masekesa guilty once again of pitching it short. And Milton Shumba gladly obliges to the invitation. Flat 6, you would say. Moves him to 38. Pitch short, pulled away. And the fielder will only watch it sail over the boundary for a huge 6.
Split the fielders there quite well. Did Milton Shumba, moving his tally to 38. Good little comeback.
16 from that over, end of the 14th, 126 for 2. Match summary 168 is what Westside were able to put up in their 20 allotted overs for the cost of 9 wickets. Nigel Banyongwe top scoring with 58. Tinashe Shawara 46 of 33, and then Clive Chumba, a great cameo towards the end of 38. Lennox Chando 47 of 25, and Milton Shumba and Panashe Tervinga are the current pair at the crease with 38 and 26 on the cards at the moment. 43 runs required from 36 deliveries.
Oddsy seems to be the man. He brought back to bowl a second over, went for 12 in the first. Current run rate 9, required rate 7, so doing well for themselves are the Gladiators, and they just need to carry this on to help them much further into this competition and give themselves a chance at that final. Again, whoever takes it will play Takashinga Patriots in a qualifier match for the final. Pretty much a semi-final.
That's been short, and it has been sent away into the VIP pavilion for a huge maximum. Panashe Tervinga gladly obliging to that invitation.
Yeah, just muscled away, really. I think these spinners have struggled with their length. And it's hurt their side because they have been put away. Gladiators boys, you're saying gladly obliging to the invite.
A quick single taken. That's good cricket.
Very
good
smart cricket.
strike rotation, you would say.
Keeping each other in this contest. And it's pretty difficult to see a way back here for Westside. I don't want to call it too early. Only 2 wickets down.
Well, in cricket, you say now, you only need 8 good balls, and you can be back in the game.
Maybe I'm just trying to jinx them into pulling it out of the bag. A few covers looked after by the man out at sweep up for just a single. So 6 to the good already with 3 balls remaining, and this over for the West Side. I beg your pardon, Gladiators boys. West Side have been guilty, especially through their spinners, just not hitting the areas. I'll tell you what, he's gone again. And on this occasion, a beautiful take, diving forward.
As Clive Chumba takes a beautiful catch.
came off the toe end of Panasha Taringa's bat, didn't get it cleanly. He shows his disappointment. It's a slower delivery. He was way through the shot early, catching it off the toe end, and Clive Chumba taking a diving catch forward. Brings the end to another magnificent innings from Panasha Taringa, who goes for 33 of 26 with a strike rate of 126. He leaves his side 134 for the loss of 3.
So breakthrough, he's getting applauded by his mates. Good little cameo from him then, setting a side up really. And a picture. Well, no, they've got a bit of a job to do here. Tendai Chatara. Nonetheless, the breakthrough you were crying for, here you go. Could this spark some life into this Westside attack?
No, definitely. Could this be a turning point? Milton Shumba still in. 30. Was on 39 from 24. Ashlim Fandawiya is the new batter. Gets off the mark. We're looking for 2. And he'll come back comfortably.
Operating way under that required, over that required rate are the Gladiators at the moment, so looking very comfortable. And these singles, 1s and 2s that they keep taking because they're running so well between the wickets. Wonder if it'll change with Shumba's new mate out in the middle there.
Well, and of the 15th, it'll be 137 for the loss of 3. There'll be a change in the commentary box.
Get boys, get the boys. Get the boys, let's move the boys. That's finished. Where boys?
32 of 30 is what's required here.
Bravo. Clive, where, Clive? What are you doing? Up and that's no.
Masekesa will bowl the 16th. Dean 32 of 30. You fancy Gladiators will canter to the victory here.
Come, Vinny, one, Jeff, you won! We are keeper!
Hello, TC. Yes, it shouldn't really be much of a problem to get these runs now. But haven't we just been entertained by some of the young talent tonight? It really has been a privilege to be a part of this and to watch it.
Just plays that off the back foot to a long on boundary. They're going to push the second, and they will come through for the second, courtesy of that misfield. And I totally agree with you, Dean. It has been an absolute treat to be watching this NPL T20 blast. Lots of talent upcoming in Zimbabwe. Similar shot down to the leg side. Fanda here.
Lefty.
Milton Shumba on strike now. Required rate is 6 to the over. They're going at 9s. It's now a runner ball. 27 off 27 needed. I think for Westside they need wickets here. It's the only way you'd fancy they can come into it. Picked up beautifully, flicked off the pads for another boundary at the fine leg, and they continue to just approach that target, which I felt 169. They did well in the end to get to that, Dean, but the start they got, 200 was on the cards for sure.
Yes, it was, absolutely. 200 plus was on the cards. And as you rightly say, they did recover quite nicely after initially a very good start. Then it fell away horribly, and then a mini recovery towards the end. But obviously was always going to be within reach of Gladiators.
Oh, he decides to go for that paddle sweep. Much better work in the field at short, fine leg, this time from Westside Cricket Club, which ends the 16th over. It's 147 for the loss of 3.
So TC, what has been the highlight of this particular game for you?
I think it's been, the opening stand I saw from Westside Cricket Academy, and also the Gladiators, cricket club coming out and, playing free cricket. We saw some beautiful shots being played by both the openers, but also the bowling and the fielding, clawing teams back, just putting a little bit of pressure, swinging that momentum. And I've just enjoyed watching the experience and the youth coming together. And it's been a great day today. Obviously, Sogo Rangers booking their spot in the final, which will be played on Saturday. Takashinga Patriots will be facing Takashinga tomorrow.
Particular format, because especially if your set batsman Milton Shumba were to get out now, that possibly could create a little bit of, that's beautifully struck.
Absolutely, just the single, but lovely looking shot. Tendai Chatara is back into the attack. He's bowling from the golf course end. He's got figures of 1 for 16, off 2.1. I mean, he's a experienced campaigner, and he has lots to offer the youngsters.
Oh, he certainly does. And what you should see, I would imagine, from Tendai Chatara will be a variation of slower balls, slower ball bounces. He does have a pretty good Yorker, but it's at this particular time where those slower balls, those cutters that he bowls so very effectively will come into play.
Mufandawiya on strike now. Straying down the leg side, comes off the pads, but fantastic take by the wicket keeper, diving to his left, getting both hands on down to the ball, and keeps it to just a dot ball. So far this is a good over, just the single followed by a dot ball. Tendai Chatara just looking to squeeze Gladiators Cricket Club here.
I also thought Lennox Chanda was very, very good at the top of the order as well. I was a bit disappointed for him that he wasn't able to convert that 47 into a score of significance, but he's young, he's exuberant, so mistakes will be made along the way, and provided he learns from those mistakes and is able to put that incredible talent that he has, mix the two, so understanding which balls to play, which shots against, and so on.
Oh, that's short, and it's been hit up in the air. Two fielders converging under it. A great attempt, but it has been grasped, and that will go down as a dropped catch. Mufandawiya continues to survive out there, but you rightfully said it, Dean. These mistakes, you've got to learn from them and get better in your game. That should have been taken. Covered so much ground to get there, diving forward, doesn't manage to complete the catch, and Gladiators will take the single.
I'm just wondering how much of a factor the lights would have been, TC. A lot of these players have never ever played under lights, and I don't know if that would have been a factor or not, but we do often see in day-night cricket that those balls that go straight up in the air are considerably more difficult to catch under the lights as they would be in normal natural daylight.
Absolutely, it is a very, very different experience playing under lights, and that one didn't go particularly high. It didn't have the lights in the background, but he did cover a lot of ground, and he had to dive forward, so not managing to complete the catch. But Milton Shumba edges closer to his half century. He moves on to 46 with one delivery to come in this 17th over. And Chatara goes down the leg side again. Mufanda gets some bat to ball and another single to end the over. So Gladiators Cricket Club need 18 off 18. 17 overs gone, 151 for 3.
You know, probably about 20 years ago, maybe 30, we would have been on the edge of our seats if a team needed 18 runs off 18 balls. We would have thought it would have been the highlight of the evening.
And
our times have changed.
Absolutely, the game has changed. 18 off 18. I mean, more often than not, it's the batting team that can get it done within 6 balls even.
Yeah,
I
absolutely. Well, we saw Clive Chumba just now, didn't we? Where he hits 3 consecutive sixes.
Yep, so the equation is 18 runs needed off 18 balls, and Prosper Mugeri has been brought back into the attack to bowl his final over from the City end. We're looking to give it his all here, running hard, bend his back, try and pick up that all-important wicket of Milton Shumba. He's on the non-strikers end though. Mufanda he's on 10 off 9. Mugeri yet to pick up a wicket in this eliminator. He'll be looking to do so in this over. Here he comes to Mufanda. And down the leg side, it's been played, got a leading edge, top edge of the bat, and they do come through for the second, so just not falling favorably for Westside cricket, but that's what happens in cricket, doesn't it?
It does. Have you noticed, though, the last couple of deliveries, even by Tendai Chatara, have been bowled down the leg side to Mufamba Uya? I don't know if that's deliberate or not, or whether it's just been very, very coincidental. But the last couple of deliveries have been bowled down the leg side at him.
Yeah, no, they have. I think Westside have strayed in their line. Don't think they would have wanted to bowl there. Maybe trying to go in there for those Yorkers, the death bowling. And no rush for Gladiators cricket. They're just knocking the singles around, waiting for that bad ball that they can put away. And Milton Shumba needs 4 runs to get to his half century. He's on strike now. Prosper Mugeri still searching for his first wicket of the match. But that won't stop him from running in hard and giving of his best. Milton Shumba, here are his readings this game. 46 runs, 29 balls. He's got 1/6 to his name and 5 balls, 5 fours, striking at 156. Just sorting out his gloves there. Putting them on now. Mugeri to Shumba. Oh, that's beautifully played. Opens the face of the bat. Gets it to the fine leg boundary for another couple of runs. Takes him to 48 now. Just 2 runs away for Milton Shumba.
He deserves a half century, doesn't he? He's played very, very nicely. He was very influential in that partnership with Panashi Taruvinga as well. And one certainly hopes that he does get to his 50, which will be another, I think it will be second 50 in the tournament.
Yep, and an effort ball there from Mugeri, but he overdoes it. Balls it too wide outside the off stump, and Foster Mutizwa signals the wide. He's going to have to reload that one. But that's another run towards that total. And now reads 12 runs and 15 balls. Milton Shumba has played a really, really mature innings here for his team. Gets back onto that one, sends it deep into the offside. They're going to come back for the second, and that's 50 for Milton Shumba. A match-winning 50, you would feel, Dean, and he bows down to the applause of his teammates and the crowd. Well played, Milton Shumba.
Yes, you summed it up beautifully, TC, when you said it's an innings of maturity, because that's exactly what it is. Not once has he played a rash shot, and I hope I haven't put the mockers on him, but he really has played every single ball on his merit. He's ran beautifully between the wickets, and a magnificently compiled half century to Milton Shumba.
And what he's done particularly well with all the partners he's batted with. And there we see again, really putting pressure on the fielders, rotating strike, pushing the twos, running the singles hard, and they continue to do so. And now into single figures in terms of what's needed. They need 8 runs now. And at the beginning of this over, we mentioned how they need 18 off 18, and that equation has already quickly changed. They just need 8 runs now. So 10 runs in this over already. It's now reading 8 and 13 balls with 1 ball remaining in this over. And just check that one to make sure he placed it well on the leg side to fine leg to end the 18th over. A successful over for Gladiators Cricket Club. 18 overs gone, 162 for 3.
So they are now, Gladiators, on the verge of what will be a very impressive win. And the reason why I say it's impressive is because they really were up against it. Westside got off to a almost brutal start, where their openers in particular ran beautifully between the wickets. They capitalized on some poor bowling, but somehow Gladiators found a way back by continuously taking wickets, by pegging them back. And although Clive Chumba played very nicely towards the back end of the innings, it's not going to be enough. And it'll be a fitting, wonderful thing if Milton Shumba could be the one to score the winning runs.
He's on strike now, Chatara running in. And again, that's very well struck, straight to the fielder who had some work to do. Sticks out the left hand and keeps it to just a single, which brings Mufandawe on strike. But it's been a very, very well contested match, this one. They're 1 shot away to facing Takashinga Patriots in tomorrow's qualifier. And Mufandawe, I wonder if they want to finish it off in style, or they'll just continue to play each ball on merit. Looks like they're wanting to get there sensibly. And overthrows, you wouldn't believe it. That's the last thing Westside Cricket would have wanted, overthrows to allow them to come back for the second. So making it all easy for Gladiators.
Yeah, well, now it honestly is just, just a couple of runs away, really, is what it is. Literally a couple of runs away. What a wonderful run chase this has been under the lights. It really has been a very, very well compiled and well constructed run chase by Gladiators.
Mufandawe has made his contribution of 15 runs off 12 balls. He's been a very able partner to Milton Shumba, who's on the other end on 54. Just 4 needed now. And he guides that beautifully down to third man for the single.
That's good, sensible cricket. It really, really is. You know, you on strike, you're a young batsman, you're facing an old warhorse, an old experienced campaigner. What you would want to do is to try and smash him out of the ground to win the game, and not so. He realizes that he gets the ball down to third man. Get your senior batsman, Milton Shumba, back on strike.
Well said, Dean. That's exactly what they're doing out there, playing a really good brand of cricket. Milton Shumba just guides that one to deep square leg. They come through for another single. Dealing in singles at the moment. Just 2 runs needed. Just 1 run to level the scores. So Gladiators cricket looks like they will march on in the tournament and face Takashinga Patriots tomorrow. Well, that's going to be an absolute cracker of a game.
Yes, it is. It most certainly is, because Takashinga Patriots will be very disappointed in how it all unfolded for them this afternoon. So that will be a very, very good game of cricket tomorrow.
And he's gone for the big one, but he only finds deep wicket, who's patrolling that leg side boundary. So scores are level now, 168. Just the 1 run needed. Milton Shumba on strike, and he's got an opportunity to hit the winning runs. And the innings he's played has been a match-winning one, and he would love to score the winning runs The Gladiators fans are on their feet in anticipation that Milton Shumba is going to complete it in the 19th over. A couple of field changes here, bringing everyone on the offside into the circle. And fine leg deep, square leg being asked to.
Chatara to Shumba.
And coolly done, calmly done, just flicks it off his pads to the leg side, and Gladiators Cricket Club will take the victory. Milton Shumba bows down to the rest of his teammates. Gladiators Cricket Club take the victory. What a run chase, Dean.
Fantastic, magnificently played Milton Shumba. And we are also around for some time, and he brought this experience that he's had to a very important match as well. And the run chase was very well done and very maturely done by Milton Shumba.
Indeed, players are shaking hands out there. Gladiators Cricket Club win by 7 wickets. Westside Cricket Club just managing to pick up the 3 wickets, which only put a momentarily dent in the chase, but the partnership that Dean just alluded to is the one that won them the game in the end. And Milton Shumba playing a very, very mature innings, one that I'm sure he will remember for a long time. And it's been a fantastic tournament from Westside Cricket Club. They've really tried their best to come into that top 4 position to challenge for a spot in the final. Unfortunately, though, they have succumbed to a great run chase from Gladiators Cricket Club, who have won this one, and they march on. And like I said earlier, they will be playing tomorrow at 6 o'clock against the Takashinga Patriots one. Look at the batting card. Chingoruma fell early just for 5, but Lennox Chando, Dean, a brilliant 47 off 25, and Panashe Taruinga, a youngster from the Under-19 World Cup, scoring 33 off 26. But Milton Shumba playing magnificently for his 56, and Mufanda Uya, who assisted him with 17, a great batting display.
Yes, it was very, very consistent. There wasn't really one batsman who stood head and shoulders above the rest. Yes, Lennox Chando played very nicely for his 47. He was the one who provided the chase, and at the end, Milton Shumba the kill.
Well, the bowling card doesn't make for happy reading for the Westside Cricket Club, but the match summary: 168 for 9 in their 20 overs. Westside Cricket Club, who opted to bat first. Gladiators Cricket Club came out firing with a great start. 169 for 3 in 19 overs with an over to spare, 6 balls to spare. They take it by 7 wickets, and lovely to see now the Gladiators Cricket Club going to appreciate their supporters who have braved the chilly weather out here at Harare Sports Club. They're in full song, and they know what it means to them. Their team has managed to defeat Westside Cricket Club, and they will come back tomorrow for another match, which hopefully for them, they would want to defeat Takashinga to book a spot in the final. There's the match which will be coming tomorrow, 6 p.m. The first ball will be bowled. Gladiators Cricket Club will be taking on Takashinga Patriots. One we mentioned earlier, Dean, just quickly before we go downstairs, it's going to be a cracker of a game. 2 sides full of talent, full of potential. I can't wait for that one.
It's going to be magnificent, and we do hope that you will be able to join us, but even better still, if you're in the vicinity, make your way to Harare Sports Club. It's free of charge, and come and watch what should be a very...
Out tomorrow at 6 p.m. The winner of this game on your screens right now will be playing against the Sogo Rangers Cricket Club on Saturday here at Harare Sports Club, and there's some excitement as well to follow after that final. There will be a live performance, so it's going to be a really, really festive atmosphere tomorrow and on Saturday. But it's been an absolute great game to watch, the both games we had today. And just a reminder, Gladiators Cricket Club taking, and it's good to see, Dean, the crowd still in full song in the grandstand there. I'm sure they're going to be singing songs well into the evening.
Yeah, they're going to be enjoying themselves. And of course, tomorrow being a Friday, for some of you, there'll be no work the next day. So again, we can simply reiterate, if you're able to make it to the ground, it is free of charge. It will be Takashinga Patriots one. You all know who is in that side. It's a very star-studded side with the Masakadza brothers, Timson Maruma, but to name a few, versus this talented young Gladiator side. Please come and support this cause. It really is very, very good cricket. It's festive, it's exciting. And shortly...
Also got the tall right arm fast bowler whom lost to the Sogo Rangers, having put a competitive total of 180 odd on the board. But well, Gladiators and Takashinga, whenever they meet, it's always an event to remember.
Yes, and I think as we just wait for the presentation, I think one thing about the previous game as well, TC, is that the Takashinga Patriots one would have been very disappointed in the fact that they got those 3 quick wickets, but then that very good partnership between Sean Williams and Matthew Welsh that eventually got them over the line.
Yeah, what a partnership that was, and both of them managing to cross the 50 mark. The experience of Sean Williams and the youthfulness of Matthew Walsh was such a pleasure to watch them go about their business and making light work in the end of that total. But again, the Takashinga Patriots were well on track to get a 200-plus score, which the Sogo Rangers captain, Jonathan Campbell, actually mentioned. We were thinking it was a 200 wicket, so they were actually happy with Takashinga Patriots getting to the 180 odd, and it just goes to show definitely batting second is an advantage on this wicket.
Well, it definitely does seem to be, and I think you know, it's quite nice because if you remember the games that were played under lights earlier on in the season was pretty much dominated by very low scoring and not particularly entertaining cricket. So it's nice to see that high totals can be obtained under the lights here as well.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we're going to go downstairs now. Tipiro has got the post-match presentation.
Milton Shumba, who will be receiving his Utande Player of the Match.
Really enjoyed that. That's well done.
Thank you, Milton. I'll do stay for a few words with me. All right. Milton, magnificent performance that you've had with the bats in this one. Did you see your guys seeing this through with ease?
I think I did see it with the way they behaved after that power play start from the Westside. The comeback, and it was strong. It showed that the guys wanted to play, and I could see that guys were throwing their bodies around, which means that they wanted to win the game. So yeah, everyone was in it today.
You've had a brilliant performance both with bat and ball. You have a full, I would say, brilliant performance throughout the whole.
I think just understanding my strength and also just putting the badge forward really, and just representing Gladiators and making sure that I win games for them. You know, getting the opportunity of playing really, not being able to play for the past 2 or 3 months. I worked out on my game to understand it. You know, I wanted that time to actually take a break and understand my game. So got back and put on some few performance there to help the team to win. You know, fair enough, which is really good.
Yeah, last season you guys were so close at clinching this one. What are you going to do differently with the team looking forward that you in action again tomorrow?
I think for me it's really the belief only. You know, with the character that the guys showed, you know, when we were fielding, that just gave me the you know, the energy to go out there and bat. You know, knowing that everyone in the changing room really wants this game. You know, so I think that belief is gonna, you know, stay with us for long.
You have, but how have guys come through to fill up those positions?
I think it's really from Lennox opening the bat there. You know, if Wesley was here, probably was not going to play. So he got a chance, and he's showing us that he can play. So it's really good that guys are stepping up to play. You know, just that, you know, Clive has already sent a message that he's going to be available for the final. So we're just making sure we qualify for him.
Oh, congratulations and good luck in the next qualifier.
Okay, thank you.
The NPL T20 Blast is down to the final 4. Be sure to catch the qualifiers, the Eliminator and the final at Harare Sports Club from the 5th to the 7th of September 2024. Sogo Rangers take on Takashinga Patriots 1 in the first qualifier, and Gladiators take on Westside in the Eliminator this Thursday, the 5th of September. Don't forget, entrance is absolutely free. The action's hotting up. You don't want to miss it. the NPL T20 Blast Finals. Be there.